off. If you don't know who I am, I'm Marie Darling. I'm the director of I'm the director of community and learning. So if you have heard my voice before, it's probably been from a YouTube channel video. I'm in charge of that space. You've also seen me on the community forum. So I do a couple things here at Ressio. So if you ever have questions about that, you can always reach out to me. And then joining us is Jason Pedersen from iLevel Construction. He will be speaking shortly. And then, of course, Mitch will be, giving us our some insight on the product coming up.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us,
So,
Jason, and
yeah.
thanks everyone for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're really grateful for Jason to hop on with us for this. And he just celebrated his 7th year for his company. So that's pretty exciting too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so highlights. We just had IBS. A lot of you came by, Jason being one of them, and it was a really great time. We had a happy hour. Many customers, new and that we've had here for a while, came by. So thank you for that. I don't know, Mitch, did you want to add anything about IBS?
I mean, it was an awesome turnout. We had a terrific time seeing everyone in person and getting to interact with folks. It's a really unique opportunity because we get to see you guys all in the same place for a couple of days every single year. And like Marie said, the turnout at the happy hour was amazing. And we were just really excited that our community continues to grow.
Yeah, ditto. It was a really cool booth too. So it was awesome to see that. Okay. Announcement. If I live, you guys have probably heard ResioCon is happening. I have been, working behind the scenes to get that set up. We are going to probably do it in Bethesda, which, if you guys know the Maryland area, it is a very short train ride from DC. And it's going to make our lives a lot easier. And we wanted to do it in our home turf, where Resio started. And then hopefully in the coming years, we'll do it in other cities. But there are details are coming out, and I'm solidifying those details as much as I can. So stay tuned for that. It will be 2 full days of learning, connecting, growing. There will be a variety of learning sessions, panel discussions from Resio customers, as well as you get a chance to connect with the Resio team, talk to your customer success coach, and connect with other builders. Um, so we're really excited to bring this to the Resio community. Community forum. So if you are a Resio customer, don't forget that you can join the Resio community forum. Here's a updated version. As you can see, we do have an area of what's new. So whenever there's a release note, you might miss that email. You could always come to the community forum and see the latest releases. You can also request features. There's a feature wish list that we are continuing to look at and update. You can also start discussions. And actually, I was going to tell Jason when you were talking about Mason AI and when you were talking about using AI, it's a great way to see what other builders are using and asking them in the discussion forum. Um, so if you guys know, there is on your customer profile on the bottom of your Resio app, you'll see those 3 little dots, and you can find the community forum there as long as you are, that you have set up your profile. It's pretty easy. You can always reach out to your customer success coach. And there's also a video in our YouTube channel about it.
Cool.
And then speaking of our YouTube channel, subscribe. If you want to know the latest feature releases that are coming out or, updates to our platform and you want to see it instead of just read about it, please go to our Resio software, channel. You can see courses, there's playlists, and any webinars that happen, they will be posted there as well. And don't forget about our YouTube as well. Please subscribe and follow. Jacob, that's a great question. I can answer that in a little bit, but I can answer it for all of you. If it's expired, I can easily just add you or ask your customer success coach, and then um, we can update that for you. So I'm going to make note of that. But thank you for the question. Okay, so the most important part, our customer spotlight with Jason from iLevel. If you guys don't know who he is, custom builder, Black Hills, South Dakota. He's got a beautiful family. And like I said before, he just had his 7-year company um, anniversary. So I'm going to let him talk about everything. So I just wanted you guys to see this up here, a little bit about Jason. And Jason, when you're ready, I can just go to the next slide for you.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm not even sure where to begin. It's kind of cool to be here to be talking about Ressio. I know I would say probably 18 months ago, we weren't even a player in the custom home building space in the Black Hills. We were building like maybe 1, 2 homes in a year, but just that wasn't our main focus. So since then, it's been 100% focus on custom homes. That's it. We build primarily for out of state pre sold clients. So clients who are building a vacation home, a second residence, moving back into a retirement home. And we've just really focused on that. And we did switch from Builder Trend over to Ressio. That was the interesting story there, but just project management software in general has been a game changer for us. Um, yeah, I think about the amount of stress earlier with even client communications and text messages and people wondering about what's going on. Like even just being able to not even make a phone call or send a text, but just throw a daily log like, hey, here's some progress updates from your build. They're in Colorado, Arizona, wherever, and they can just log on and see what's going on. So yeah, it was awesome to be at IVS. I'll definitely say, like, even just to meet the team and everything is so cool because yeah, just I felt like they're so willing to, and it's not like we haven't been without hiccups either. I know like Mitchell and Marie can see that like we in South Dakota we have excise tax, which has 3 decimal places. It's like 2.041%. So it was causing us some issues in the calculations, but we got that taken care of right away. So that was awesome, and definitely thank you for taking care of that too. So
Jason, I actually just had a question that I think would be great to go over starting your business and then transitioning to Ressio.
mhm.
Um, like how was that transition from Builder Trend to Ressio and migrating active projects over to Ressio?
Yeah, it was really easy for us, and I think a lot of the reason why it was so easy is we were very new to Builder Trend as well. So it wasn't like we had many projects to transfer over, but there was like an export, import. We had some modifying to do, but like we were really learning how to use project management software as well during the transition. And one of the biggest reasons why I felt it was so crucial to make the switch to Ressio when we did is because I saw that our involvement was like it was going to be a game changer for us. We were going to be using it, and I wanted a software that we could definitely partner with for the long haul. And that went very well. I know other builders that I've talked to. Actually, it's I do believe one of our connections over on eastern side of South Dakota signed up for Ressio, and I've had some conversation with them. They're going to be transferring over way more projects than we are, so probably a more involved process. But for us, it was really straightforward, and I'd say easier to learn for sure. Yeah,
Can you elaborate like on what was easier to learn, would you say?
I feel like it's just a lot more intuitive. I'm by schooling a mechanical engineer, and so Excel spreadsheets, college. I mean, that's a real deal. So even how the estimates are built out, how some of the structure flows, to me it feels slightly more Excel sheet based or that type of format, which was easy to navigate. And then I think just having all of the functions available from day one, not, oh, hey, there's this other feature that we have, but you have to, upgrade to the next plan. That was very helpful.
Yeah, and I was as we were preparing, I noticed you said something, you're talking about the estimate.
Yep.
And like so how would you say Resio's estimate, how's that really helped with running your business, like your day to day?
Even just like we have a full pre-construction process. We've had 12 clients, I think, now through our pre-construction process. So our whole deal is like we say we build the home on paper first, and then we build it in real life. And so just running through everything, we do build cost plus. So to have that budget, specifications, everything dialed in at the beginning gives our clients more confidence, us more confidence, and then when we sign the contract, we lock that. And then anything that's changed from there is the change order. And that's been just slightly different to get used to because I mean it's a matter of a process thing. And we're actually we're not connected with QuickBooks yet. I'm a little bit feel like we should be connected by now. But one of the things that we did is we are switching entirely over to the CSI uh, categories and cost code division. So we're more aligned with how architects, engineers run in that market. So we've been really getting that dialed in just to make sure that when we do the connection that everything is seamless.
I think that's actually pretty reassuring to see that you can start with Ressio without being connected to QuickBooks, because I
Yep.
think that holds a lot of people back. So that's actually really nice to hear and brings me to a question of, is there anything surprising about the platform you're using now that you weren't using before?
You mean as far as like
Yeah,
Ressio goes?
exactly.
Yeah, things just keep getting better. I mean, I've right at the beginning of this call before everybody hopped on, I was saying something about Mason AI, and Mitch was like, "Oh, that's slide 16. We're going to be talking about that." I'm like, "Okay, sweet." So it's a lot of these things where we're experiencing a little bit of a hiccup, and then it's fixed in the next version or it's updated, and that's been cool. And I will say too, for anybody who's hesitant on the QuickBooks to um, Ressio integration, we've been just creating duplicate invoices on QuickBooks to match with the Ressio ones. And it's not like we're invoicing hundreds of invoices. I mean, we're sending 3 or 4 invoices a week, maybe. So it's a very easy to duplicate. And then we do run a profit and loss statement by client on QuickBooks Online. So I'm really excited to see how that ties together. And I know you also work with Adaptive, so we'll see where that connection goes in the future.
Hey, Jason, I appreciate that comment. Wait, will you just maybe like you got this slide here? Talk to us about like where are you using Ressio the most? Where is it most valuable to your business?
Yeah, I can just bring up here. I was thinking about that, and I'm like, huh, how do I use it the most? So I'm like, we use Claude AI a lot in what we're doing. So we've built multiple custom apps, even taking all of our data for estimating and even doing like deep dive on permitting jurisdictions and whatnot. So I asked Mason to tell me how we're using AI. And one of the things it said is like I said, we're all out of state clients. They're, hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. And so the daily logs and the progress updates are literally number one thing that we're using. And then even we are doing the invoicing, the proposals, change orders, all of that's there. We're updating the schedules. The Gantt chart schedule is really cool. And a lot of our clients too, it's like Ressio Mason. So Mason told me that we're almost using daily logs as informing our clients about upcoming schedule stuff. So we have realized that the clients they won't necessarily look at the Gantt chart schedule or the schedule to see when things are upcoming. They like to hear it from us. So what we've started doing with daily logs is it's like yesterday I sent a daily log to our clients down in Arizona, and it was a bunch of pictures of their house. This is what's up. Yeah, this is what's happening where we are. All of our courts and granite surfaces are getting installed next week, Monday. And so they're reading the daily logs almost as like to see what's coming next. Then we have been doing a little bit now with Mason of creating the like weekly summaries of the daily logs, and that's been cool because I think Mason is project specific right now, so I think cross referencing multiple projects is going to be pretty cool. Um, I'm excited for the point where we can start a new project and we can ask Mason to build it all out with us. Because when we sign on a new client, they go through our pre-construction process. We have a special project already started for them, and if we could just import that into and tell Mason, hey, here's all the details for the client, the build, reference this other project as a template, build it out. Then I'm looking forward to that.
Love the way you think, Jason. And I think one thing to call it that Jason mentioned that I think is a great example of client communication here, just best in class, is the way he's talking about how he's communicating schedule updates to clients. I think when we find that folks are using the AI generated summary function on the daily log, it's really elevating the quality of their client experience and saving them time from writing up a Word document or sending an email or saying, client, go find this piece of information. And so that's a really great example that Jason's referencing that we see amongst, the best in class of Ressio users.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you elaborate more like on your schedule coordination? Like how are you using that to you think to its fullest potential in Ressio?
Yeah. Uh, we're I don't believe we're using the schedule to the full potential by any means. We've been in the process of transitioning a lot of our subs to feel more comfortable using Ressio. So we've got several projects now where all of the bid requests, specifications, everything have been going out to our subs via Ressio. I know there was one thing where it's like we couldn't figure out how to send out another bid request, like say roofing, we added a new sub, like we got a relationship with a new sub. We had to send a bid request manually. And then I think I mentioned that at IBS and they're like, oh, by the way, that's getting fixed with the next version. I was like, cool. So our subs have definitely liked it. We've asked them for feedback. They like the fact that they don't need to have a specific login, username, password, all of that. Like the magic link or however you call it is pretty cool. Um, the client utilization is awesome. I found that sometimes our clients will reply to us with an email or a text. Like I'll receive a text. It's like, hey, Jason, we just saw the updated daily log. Things are coming together nicely. Would like to talk more about the fireplace mantle. So it's a signal to us that, okay, hey, I read the log, acknowledged it, but they're not using Ressio messaging so much as still more traditional forms of communication.
I just got a question for you. Can you speak to how large your in-house team is and how Ressio plays a role in your internal processes?
Cool. So there's six of us. So it's a 3-3 split. So we've got a 3-person field crew and then 3 in the office. And we've on track to build 8 homes this year. And that's the budget range of what we're building right now in our area is about 750 to 1.5. That range, fairly equal split through there. And so we really rely heavily on our subcontractors. And then a lot of what our internal team does now is just going around and picking up all the small things that we really need to do at the different builds. And that's allowed us to just let our subs do what they're skilled at doing, whether it be framing or plumbing, electrical, and then we fill in the gaps rather than otherwise. I know we definitely want to scale up a more skilled internal crew to fill in holes that we're experiencing, but at this point, we've got some great subs.
That, that's awesome.
There are always scheduling things though. It's like we're just laughing here on site too because we've got multiple companies in our area that do propane tanks. This is just an example, but 2 of them are challenging to work with, and one of them is really easy. And so we try to cater our clients toward the ones we have a great relationship with. Um, but there's a lot of like back and forth communication that needs to be done to make sure. So like today, we have our HVAC contractor on site, our plumber on site, and the propane installer on site. So the propane guy will not install propane in the tank until appliances are hooked up. Well, but they will not leak check the appliances or take responsibility for those. So there's still just different trades where there is a lot of just phone call, text message, group text, conversation back and forth. I don't feel like that's ever going to be eliminated completely, but a lot of the more broad spectrum communication is definitely helpful.
That's awesome. Oh, you got another question. Um,
Okay.
yeah, people love to hear. I mean, that's why we love doing the customer spotlight is because builders want to hear from builders
Mhm.
using Ressio. So, um, who's entering the on-site trades per day in Ressio, or are you entering that into the platform?
Yeah. So if I'm understanding right, the question is asking like, are our subs entering daily logs into Ressio? Currently, no. They will do communication back and forth during the pre-construction stage on Ressio as far as questions on the build or the specifications. A lot of what we've done now is the builds is really us entering the daily logs for the trades. So our trim installer, for example, I don't even think he has a smartphone. So he's not interested, but he does excellent trim install. So to get him to enter a daily log would be pretty crazy. Uh, but we have a very like we like to say that we're a very hands-on general contractor. So with like site
Mhm.
superintendent, crews being here or there. So it's either um, sometimes it's myself, sometimes it's one of the team that will enter the daily logs. And there are times too where it's like we will have the field crew enter in a daily log, and then the office will create a daily log that's visible to the client, and then we can just attach pictures that the field team took from Ressio. So you can pull pictures from your phone, from Ressio, from Drive, from Dropbox. I think there's probably many other locations. I don't know if that answered the question there, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it did. And it was funny because you have your like your vlog that you've been doing, and that
Yes.
reminds me exactly of what you do when you walk on an on-site and you're
Mm-hmm.
walking the site to see, the electrician if they cleaned up after themselves and like
Yeah.
talking into your phone.
Yeah. If I may mention a little bit about the vlog, one of the main reasons we started it was because we have a lot of out of state clients and they love to see the progress happening on their home.
Mhm.
And there's very often we'll receive a message from a client that's just like, hey, really like that video that you did on or the vlog that you did on the cabinet install or the trim install. It's nice to see that things are coming together. And we do not take our clients' privacy lightly. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of communication with that. I'll just say even up front about us being able to film and video and document their build in progress. And there's some clients who prefer not to, so those ones are just not on the camera.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's very mindful of you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh,
I just saw a question about co-construct.
yeah, go for it.
Uh, I used co-construct as a subcontractor 5 or 6 years ago, and I do believe they got acquired by Builder Trend if I understand.
Hmm.
A lot of the time when I was using co-construct, we wouldn't even trust the co-construct info, but we think it was primarily the builder not updating it. Uh, I haven't had any involvement or usage of co-construct for quite some time.
Okay. Yeah, they got bought by Builder Trend. So yeah, you're correct there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how similar to Ressio? I wouldn't know. I would just basically say a biased answer and say Ressio is better, but
We
yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, if anyone has any more questions about how Jason is using it, please throw it in there. It's always nice to hear from you guys of what you want to know more about. Um, but yeah, we're
I would
gonna
also
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'd also say too, it's like if there's other ways that other people are using Ressio, like we're definitely down to learn. So there's I'll just throw this out there, but there's a few of us builders kind of in that 30-ish age group that have formed kind of our own Builder 20 group. It's kind of like we've seen these Builder 20 groups. You can be part of a lot of older builders, which have been excellent to learn stuff from. But we've also seen that they're not implementing AI, a lot of this stuff into it. They're from a different generation. So we were just talking earlier today about like project management software, what we're doing in communication, work life balance, a lot of that. So that's been huge even for us. It's to even talk with them about what they're doing, what they're changing. So I would love to hear from anybody if there's something like, hey, if you're not using this feature, definitely use it.
Yeah, and I that question, Jason, I would definitely pose that in the community forum
Oh
because
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, put it in there, see what they
Cool.
say because our builders are always, excited to help each other. But I do have a follow-up question. This person wants to know more about, how would you say the estimating process is in Ressio? Do you find it user-friendly?
Uh, yes. There's a section for internal notes on the estimates. Like as you're building out the estimate, there's a section with internal notes, and then we've been using the internal notes to put any like questions or comments or maybe where our line items are coming in or to explain the differences between maybe one subcontractor bid and another. And then that's been awesome to use. I would also say that there's the little toggles you can mark whether something's not started, incomplete, completed, final reviewed. And we weren't sure exactly what that was intended for, but we've created our own system around that. So during pre-construction, those mean something. So like we have a little basic like a spreadsheet saying that it's like if it's completed but it's not final reviewed, it means we're like very close to making a decision on who the
Mhm.
subcontractor is, but we haven't closed it out. And then we reset all of those at the beginning of the build, and then we use
Oh,
it for tracking progress. So
that's
it
awesome.
it would be cool if we could do like a reset all categories to not complete or not started. I think we have to go in individually and change those. But if there's other people or if they're intended to be used a different way, that would be cool. But that's how we are tracking the completion of our estimate build out. Make sure we have everything covered.
Clever. Mitch, do you have anything you want to add before I know we have product to go over and I don't want to make Jason sit in his truck forever.
I'll just
No,
throw
no,
out there we don't have very good phone service here in Western South Dakota, Black Hills Range. So we are running on Starlink Mini today. Yeah,
That's awesome.
we do recommend that for our folks. And Jason, as we talk about updates, one of the things that we'll talk about on the product side is offline functionality. Um,
cool.
so
Cool.
we can help you guys out there as well. Maybe really quick before I jump in on the product side, kind of last call. Anyone have any questions for Jason in the chat? I don't have anything necessarily to add other than, I think what Jason called out is what we encourage of all our customers. He's a great partner and, constantly telling us, hey, we use this, we don't use this, we like this. Here's an idea for this. And we encourage that from our customers. And so the consummate partnership has been terrific with Jason, and he's running an awesome business.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you again, Jason, for doing this with us. And I would love for you to keep staying so you can watch what's coming up.
Yeah.
So if you have the
Yeah.
time, please stay. And if anyone comes up with a question that might pop up, hopefully we can answer at the end. So thank you
Cool.
again. I really appreciate it.
I did block out the whole hour, so might as well
Yes,
hang out. So.
that's good. Awesome.
Fantastic.
Good
Yeah,
deal.
I'm gonna give it over to Mitch then.
Sure.
And he's gonna take it away from here. But on to product.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, let's jump in, Marie. So, I think what's really interesting here, and I use Jason's reference of feedback as an example, is I want to call out a change we made on the proposals that came in from one of the customers. I don't know if they're on this conversation, but there was feedback that had come in our voice of customer, and we have a database of everyone's voice of customer requests that we look up. And they mentioned that showing this equal sign on proposals was not necessary because there's no math being done here. And quite frankly, our design team and our own team couldn't agree more. Now, why do we call it this one little change? Why does this matter so much? Or why am I referencing it as an example? Maria, we jump to the next slide. That's because we made this change using AI. So we talk a lot about AI in our product in Mason, and we talk a lot about AI in general, about how it's impacting the industry. I think you guys should just get a sense of under the hood, how is it impacting us? And so in this case, sandwiched between Chris on our support team and Tiago on our engineering team, Charlie, which is a AI agent, actually made the code change. And the more that Charlie or our other agents can do, the faster we can deliver updates to all of you guys. And so if we go to the next slide. This is been a change that we've started doing internally, is where AI is actually behind some of the code that is driving our application, and it allows us to produce enhancements faster and faster. And so Marie here is the one who sends you release notes. Marie is trying to keep up with Charlie because we are producing more and more things at a faster and faster rate. This is just minor enhancements, not all major releases in the past 30 days that have come out and been patched into the Ressio application. So you can see this is almost once a day Ressio is getting updated. So the pace we used to talk about 12 months ago, and as we first started doing these AMA sessions, was a bi-weekly release every 2 weeks. That has since changed to daily. And so you're getting more and more functionality, more and more updates at a faster and faster rate, in large part thanks to the AI in our product development lifecycle that is going on behind the scenes. I want to continue on the next one. So what are some of the major updates that have come out? I just love to recap this so folks are aware. It's easy for these to get missed given the pace. But we released notably AI bill capture. So you can capture receipts, bills, subcontractor invoices, and extract that information directly into a bill. The adaptive integration that was highly demanded and mentioned at IBS for purchase orders and cost codes. Note that there's a part 2 to follow here that I'll mention shortly. You can now pull bill attachments back from QuickBooks to Ressio. And when you're creating an invoice in Ressio, you can actually include all of your attachments embedded as line items. So your cost plus builders that are showing all of your customers your attachments, you can now turn on a paperclip icon in your invoice, and that paperclip icon will link to any associated files with that actual bill or expense. We had more flexibility on the selection side with different customer-facing breakdowns and the ability to insert cost catalog items into selection choices. And then you'll also have noticed there were some updates to the schedule interface and functionality there as well. Warranty feature was released along with approval document templates and more granular feature-based permissions for team and field roles. You can see over on the right-hand side. More to come there as well. This was just the first wave of things that we prioritized. And then a couple of major releases on the horizon, ability to create and re-import multiple proposals. So if you're a remodeler and you're doing a kitchen and you're doing a kitchen proposal and then a kitchen plus bath proposal, you can generate 2 proposals and send each one to the customer. And then whichever one gets picked, you can restore into your estimate. And then some additional time clock functionality that makes it easier to switch and take breaks. These are coming this week and next week. So if any of these have been valuable to you so far and you've been using them or you have feedback on them, let us know in the Zoom chat. We'd love to hear from you. So what's next? And this is some of the stuff that Jason alluded to. As we think about major feature releases planned in Q2, this is not an exhaustive list to be clear. These are just a few highlights. Offline functionality, we'd love to improve the Ressio mobile performance in low service areas so folks can clock in, clock out, post daily logs, and then those logs will be fully sent out, or the notification will be sent out when service is restored. For you CoConstruct users, on specs, the ability to edit financials. I know some folks that have come from CoConstruct and switched to Ressio, this is an important aspect to them that we'd like to make available as well. Links to the schedule. A lot of folks coming from Builder Trend have mentioned this, the ability to connect to-dos, selections, purchase orders to schedule tasks. You can see a quick preview here on a to-do, and this is something that we expect here in the very short term. Audit log, you'll be able to track who changed what on your cost items in your estimate and your specifications. Selection choices, to be able to import these from a URL or import them into your cost catalog as well. RFIs and submittals. And as we get into a deeper sales function, a more robust CRM with better lead tracking, reporting, and customization, along with our Zapier integration. Now, I mentioned an adaptive integration part 2. That will include the ability to connect change orders and budgets. So first focus was purchase orders. That was the most demanded function. And now we'll get to the remainder of the functions that will connect the 2 platforms. We'll continue to invest in reporting. Insurance, you'll be able to purchase builder's risk insurance through Ressio. And then takeoffs, that is still in progress as well. Down at the bottom, Mason AI. This is what Jason asked about, company level insights. Mason works currently at project level today. We are currently making the investment to ingest all of your data so that it works at the company level, and you can start asking for company level insights. So for you business owners or folks that are looking at managing teams, this is a great way for you to extract information and ask questions that'll cut across jobs and run basic analyses on what's working, what's not working, and so forth. There's also two things that we mentioned at IBS that are still in the works. Our recommendations inbox, which allows you to take suggested actions based on your previous inputs. So, for example, using a daily log, like Jason's team writes great daily logs, and taking that and turning that into schedule updates or messages or to-dos based on the text that is in his daily log. And then estimating, the ability to generate an estimate from your plans and your meeting minutes and historical estimates. So all in the works with Mason. We're super excited about what that looks like. But AI doesn't just mean Mason updates; it also means faster core product updates for all of you guys. So let us know what you're most excited about, or if there's something we missed that may or may not be on here. Please comment on the Zoom chat. And at this time, for the next 20 minutes, we'd love to open up to any questions that you guys have.
And Mitch, I do want to add, we're constantly adding Mason AI videos to our YouTube channel because, we're always finding, look what it can do now. And so if you guys ever need help, those customers out there that always need help with how to use it, you can always look at that. Look at those videos. There is a YouTube channel dedicated, or a playlist dedicated to Mason, as well as coming up at the end of the month. I'll post that soon in the community forum. And in the next release notes, we are going to have a CS office hour dedicated to Mason and how you can use it. We're getting some questions, Mitch. So that's good. Great questions. There's a lot of questions there's a question about adaptive, and I know that that's always an ongoing, whenever we roll out these integrations, it comes in phases to make sure that we are doing it in the best way. So I don't know if you want to comment on the time clock.
Will you just read the question aloud for everyone?
Yeah. How about pushing time clock entries to adaptive? That would be super useful for us not on QuickBooks Online.
I think it depends on the demand for it. I can't say we've heard that a ton, but if that's something that folks are using, that's definitely a route we would pursue. One note with adaptive time entries today is if you're pushing time entries from Ressio to QuickBooks, those time entries could end up in adaptive from QuickBooks to adaptive. So there is indirect data flow today that wouldn't necessarily require an integration. But like I said, if that's something that folks want to skip the QBO and there's value to it and there's plenty of folks demanding it, hey, that's something we'd want to do.
Yeah, please add your questions in here. I know there's a lot of information here. So the more questions that you guys have for us, we would love to address them. And if you still have questions for Jason, put them in there too. This is more of a question for me, since I'm the one doing the community and learning about a section of onboarding for switching from Buildertrend for clients. And that's something that I am actually working on, dedicating articles, questions for our homeowners and clients moving from one platform to another and using Ressio. So yes, that is in the works. And we do have a playlist dedicated meant for our homeowners on how to use Ressio. And so we are constantly trying to find ways to help all types of learners, I guess you could say. Sam wants to know the roadmap on Mason updating schedule items, and how about a reorder test and schedule items?
Roadmap on Mason updating schedule items, that should be included in future Mason updates here in Q2. Reorder tasks in schedule, maybe not 100% following this one. That is something you can drag and drop today. So you have the ability to grab a schedule task, drag it, and put it on top or below another schedule task.
Can I comment on this?
Yeah.
I,
Please.
I think it would be really, really cool if like Mason had the ability to. So like with our use of primarily it was Chat GPT for quite a while, and then we switched to Claude AI. But a lot of what I think a lot of people want to do, myself included, is just like speak into my phone about everything that's going on. Let's say it's in like a dump portal on Mason, and then Mason can be like, okay, would you like me to put a daily log in this? And I see you made a note about plumber schedule being shifted back a week. Would you like me to update the schedule? I think that's what this question is referring to, and that would be really cool.
100%, and that's exactly how we think about it. You'll actually see today on Mason on daily logs. You'll have a voice. There's a voice to text button
Yep.
that we've custom built so that we're building a foundation to capture those inputs. So it's a great call. We actually have a few builders that I know that are using Mason to kind of like organize their thoughts. So basically, they'll voice dump into Mason. Mason will organize it, and then they'll use that to post into a daily log, for example. So it's that voice to text is huge, right? You're on the go, you're in the car all
Mhm.
the time.
Yep.
That's incredibly valuable to you as a builder.
Cool. Awesome. There's a question about an undo button on the estimate. I know.
I was just thinking of
I
that.
know my pre-construction manager would love that button.
Yeah, yes, this is on our radar for Q2. Was
Okay.
not listed here as a smaller item, but that is on our radar. Great question.
Okay. Uh, I see somebody asked a question about my thoughts on contractors using Ressio to store PDF quotes. Uh, so as far as contractors go, like we use was it like Google Drive hosted local across for our team to like drag and drop and update quotes and everything for our internal use. And then we haven't so much stored them on Ressio, but I know some of our subcontractors, they definitely have access to the plans and some of that. So I know some of them will, they'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, I guess I didn't download I didn't print the specifications off of Ressio. Will you do that for me? So it's like they're relying on it having the information so they don't have to store it, which I think storing it in two places is a win.
I would echo. I think that was a really really good answer, and not too much to add. I think that's a good practice for folks.
I like this. There is an article, Jacob. He asked, I have no idea how to use voice to text with Mason. Could you run through that again? Um, but yeah, there is a video out there, but I don't know. Jason, have you used the voice to text yet?
Yes, I was actually just thinking we might be able to do it live right here.
Ah.
But
I see this question. We can send a video. Let me see
Yeah.
if we can get it on this call. Otherwise, we can follow up with it afterwards
Yeah.
for folks on what that use case actually looks like.
Yeah. It's Jacob and
That way
I'm going to
that way
add it
you
to the
guys have a
team.
leave behind, and it's not just for this particular session. It's also something we have on YouTube, and it's available for you at any time.
Yeah. And I
cool,
can send it to you, Jacob, because I will follow up with you on community forum.
cool. I have a question of my own, and maybe it's already just something I don't know about, but our field team, for example, could we set permissions for our field team to not be able to post a daily log that's visible to clients?
Tell us more about the intention there. You want them to only be able to do it internally, and then you want to review it.
Yes, exactly. So like let's say because this actually happened, one of our new members of the team posted a log of just like a whole bunch of foundation waterproofing pictures from a review on a build, and it went to the client. So the client had mentioned something about, yeah, we saw, it looks like all the foundation waterproofing is done. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's what I kind of wondered when we started looking at some of the permissions there, if they could, like the field team couldn't, maybe there's options so they didn't have permission. They could only post an internal log.
Yeah. Let me add that to our list for more granular permissions on the field and team member side. If you go
Cool.
back a slide, Marie, for a second, as you think about, go back one slide. Oh,
Oh no, hold on. It's not
no
letting me
worries.
do it. Yeah.
Basically, I just wanted to show folks we're adding more permissions as we go.
Is that this
So
one,
we
Mitch?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's more granular, for example, team member access to financials. We can turn on and off certain things.
Okay.
We're going to add more and more specific functionality for field for team member usage over the next couple of months here. So that's a
Nice.
good one to add.
I see
Yeah.
there's a second on the request for more granular permissions across the board. So that'd
Yeah.
be cool. And then I
I,
did
I,
see a question about even like sorting documents, and we currently use and in the file structure, I think it's all sorted by tags. Is it the tags, so we can filter our files by or search based on the tags that we've applied to them, whether it's permits or plans or like Plan Hub stuff. I don't know if that would answer John's question.
Yeah, I think a couple of things to comment here. The one caveat I would make to folks here using Ressio as you get into more granular permissions. I just came out of a client call this morning, talking with folks, and this is the second time I've heard it this week. Is they were coming from Builder Trend and they were managing permissions on a feature by feature basis, and it
Oh,
was requiring very arduous setup for every single project and every single team member as they tried to scale very rapidly. And so I think there's a lot of benefit to granular permissions. Don't get me wrong. I'd also, caveat to folks that that may create overhead layers of management and complexity in your own organizations that you have to be very certain of. So, it's important that we give you those access tools and options. I think the call out would be the more you get into the weeds, the more the burden does end up on you to make sure that gets managed appropriately within your team. Um, one other question that John Allaire had, I thought was a good one. Our team has been looking for this ability to filter projects by file extension, media type, etc. We're looking to add some more of this type of functionality in our search components and more filters within the file page to make it easier to navigate. So that was not listed here. I'll make sure this piece of feedback gets noted in that work. So I appreciate the call up there, John.
And he's also commenting on the granular permissions.
yeah. This is really good. I think I'm just like feeling through this questions and answer session that we're having here is we can just see it already that there's real feedback coming, and there's
Mhm.
real moments of like, oh yes, that would be something we should get to our team. So this is why I'm working with you guys. So
We appreciate that.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you don't
Marie,
you don't know. What did you say,
anything that
Mitch?
we
Sorry?
missed in the chat?
Not that I can see. I mean, people just keep coming, so I'm trying to like answer and keep track. Um, but I think everyone's another on granular. People keep
Yeah.
adding. Yes, granular. Um, are you using Company Cam,
I'm
Jason?
not.
Okay.
I'm not. I have looked into it. It's so I would like to learn more about company cam. There's we see a lot of like even our field team members, like you have a personal phone you're taking pictures with and uploading pictures and um yeah, if anybody here is using company cam right now, that would be cool to hear in the comments what the benefits are, or even in the Ressio community. That might be a
Yeah.
good conversation to have.
Yeah, and for those of you, we do have an integration. So when you are adding a file, if people, because they might not be able to see it, when you're adding a file, you can always have the option of choosing Company Cam if you have an account. So it's a really easy integration that you can do on the company level.
Cool.
I like the tier. Russell said, not super granular, but tiered.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Like
and
I almost just wondered that. So like if like how we kind of have this the split in our company is we have the field crew and then we have the office crew, which the office has mostly all admin level permissions. And so it's usually office level who has maybe like the face with the clients as far as like supervision or project
Mhm.
management goes. And like we are very, very small company. I'm always excited to learn about like these larger companies that are willing to like chat with me about how they're running a 40-50 million dollar operation because we have so much to learn, but it's been fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and someone was talking about the permit, including Ressio, using Ressio on their platform. And I just answered saying that I do know a lot of builders that have written that into their contract, just to make things smoother in the process of having their homeowners using it. So I wanted to answer that live because I know a few of you had that question. Um, Oh, someone just say they came from Company Cam to Ressio. Company Cam is lacking in project management systems, but very easy to post pictures and organize meetings and walk through. So thank you for commenting, Barbie. Um, so
Honestly, but Barbie's comment is a good one to reference, folks. Like that's I'm not here to sell company cam to folks, but
mhm,
I will say that's the benefit of company cam working with Ressio. Company cam is going to do a very specific thing very well,
mhm.
in the sense that it's going to go very deep into photos, videos, files, checklists, and those things. And that information can be ported into your files in Ressio, so you can use it within your entire project management suite. If your use case is, hey, I'm just posting a few photos with the daily log, I would probably say you don't really need company cam. But if you're more granular in terms of your file management and there's a deeper use case that you want to focus on, Ressio and company cam are a great complementary solution.
And then there was another comment above that about, and I don't know who it is, but it's they commented on our Plan Hub, which is a nice shout out, and I think that's a underestimated aspect of Ressio that I personally like because of the QR code, and you can add things into the Plan Hub that everyone has access to without permissions.
Oh, that's a good one to call it, Marie. So just for those that don't know, right, like Plan Hub creates a URL and a QR code.
Hmm.
That URL can contain any files or specifications that you want to share. That QR code goes on your job site. We are about to release a feature that allows you to generate a QR code on any URL within Plan Hub or any filter.
Nice.
So, for example, if you have your specifications set up to where you're filtering on bathroom items, if you want someone just focus on a certain folder tag of photos, then all you have to do is generate a QR code from that URL, and that will focus just on that piece of information. So if you want to, for example, put a QR code in your bathroom and just focus on the bathroom, and a QR code in the kitchen to just focus on the kitchen, those are things that you can do now within, or not now, but very shortly within Ressio. Sorry, sometimes I get a little ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. One other thing that we've been doing with the QR code thing is after mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and before insulation, we do a 3D Vista scan of our builds. So that's the platform we're using is 3D Vista. And then all of our trades after that, trim carpenters, everybody, they get this and we just have the QR code so they can scan it with their phone. It pulls up the 3D walkthrough. So them looking for wires, plumbing pipes, mechanical stuff, finding studs, seeing where cabinet blocking is. We've told all of them like, hey, we're doing the 3D scan for you. Please use it. So yeah, we just plumbing trim today on a house, and their pressurized water lines were still holding 120 psi when they released the pressure. So we didn't hit it with any screws or trim nails or anything, which is good. But that's another nice feature with the QR codes and even with like the Plan Hub is having that all stored in there for the trades.
Love the use case there.
Yeah. It looks like we're getting close to the end of the hour. And I just want to say thank you for those of you that are participating. We really appreciate the comments, the feedback. It makes we don't know until you guys tell us. So it's always nice to hear from our customers
Yeah,
and prospects.
honestly, as we wrap up here, to see this many folks on for a full hour is fantastic. That speaks to
Mhm.
Jason, speaks to this community, and it continues to grow every single session we do. And as Marie mentioned at the very beginning, we'd love to see you guys all in person in Bethesda.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to say thank you again, Jason. We really appreciate your time, and for joining us and your, talking to your day to day and how you use Ressio, I think is really helpful for all of us on here at Ressio and for our builders. So We really appreciate it. And for those of you that missed it or had to leave, this will be posted eventually. Um, and, we can send out, especially our customers, we can send out a link, and Jason, I'll give you that link as well. So you have it. And we really appreciate everyone joining us. So Mitch, do you have any last words before we sign off here?
No, is there any other questions we
No, I
missed?
don't think so. It's just people thanking us. Thank you, Sean, for coming. Thank you
Yeah.
everyone for coming. Just a lot of great thank yous. Thanks, John,
Yeah.
Blair.
And if anybody has any more questions for me, I even see 3D Vista question
Yeah.
on there. I'll try to be more involved in the Ressio community on answering some of these going forward. So
Yeah, that would be awesome. It's
cool.
always, I think they're getting tired of hearing from me, but we'll see.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to sign off. Thank you. And I hope everyone has a great evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for y'all.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate all the feedback and comments.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you.